As you know, the pace of change in automation and with AI is really unlike anything that we've seen before. And what worked 6 months ago seems like it's outdated, and what is coming around the corner, or what felt like it was coming around the corner 6 months ago, is now here. So we thought it would be helpful to bring together two different perspectives to help you navigate this moment and navigate 2026. KC is here and we'll intro the next slide. He really brings that practitioner perspective with customers who are wrestling these challenges every day. And Jan, of course, is our CEO, who's helping to build out the platform and vision here at Celigo to help us solve these issues. First, Jan, quick intro.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here. My name is Arendtsz, CEO and founder of Celigo. And maybe just a little bit about my background. I've been in the integration and automation space for a long time, perhaps most of my professional career starting as a consultant, working for a major SaaS company responsible for their integration strategy, then starting a consulting firm way back, running that for about 8 to 10 years, and then ultimately starting Celigo, the integration platform as a service company.
Awesome. KC?
Yeah, thanks everybody, and great to be here today. But KC Fike, I'm a director of Baker Tilly. We're a consulting firm here in the States, but kind of lead our AI consulting practice, which if I think back to the career, it's really I've been doing data type work, warehousing, integrations, visualization for 20 plus years. And now as the industry moves into AI, this is where we've been focused. So working with organizations, develop their AI strategy, implementation, AI fluency, how do we use this technology, custom development as well. So excited to be here today and looking forward to the discussion.
Great. Thank you for that. So we will jump right into our first challenge that we're seeing in the market. This is, for those of you that have been around, and I know for Jan and KC, not a new challenge, right? This has been around for decades, and it's the challenge of breaking down different data silos within an organization. I would say over the past decade, this challenge has been exacerbated due to every line of business adopting their favorite tools and taking that best of breed approach, which has led to the fact that none of these systems talk to each other naturally. In a lot of cases, central IT doesn't even know that they were adopted. So this leads to disconnected business processes across the board. So first, I'll start with you, KC. How are you seeing teams or organizations approaching this challenge today, and how do you think that'll change over the next few years?
Yeah, Chris, and I really like how we're starting here where, we want to, I get this a lot from organizations, we want to do AI, right? It always gets back to the data, what systems are we using? Where is it stored out? What's the cleanliness of it? And the challenge, that we see is a lot of organizations come to us and say, like I said, we want to do this, but they have no idea what their landscape looks like, what problem they're trying to solve, right? So these data silos, it's a challenge not only from an AI perspective, but from an information perspective within organizations. And so it's not only where are those silos located, but how are we getting that data refreshed, right? So we're seeing a lot of, hey, we do all this in Excel, we're doing manual uploads, or, we're calling this API and it's all custom code. That's where the challenges we're starting to see, and just really start with the basics with organizations on what does the landscape look like? How are those systems talking to each other? And that's where I think Celigo steps in nicely. Is we can have that integration, a reliable integration in that sense where, again, it solves kind of that data problem, that data silo problem we were talking about, where instead of a Band-Aid, it's now we have an integrated solution. We're aware of the data we have available to us. And again, that's where we kind of start the foundation in developing and implementing AI for an organization is just, we need to understand what we're dealing with. And if we need to, pull that together, that's where we kind of start. So.
Yeah, that's super helpful. So put a different way, everyone wants to jump to AI, but sometimes they forget about the foundation, which is connectivity at the end of the day. Jan, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, so in my intro, I talked about my experience in the space. And if I go back maybe 10, 15 years back, with the advent of SaaS and the SaaS sprawl, companies went out there and bought lots of SaaS apps. There was an explosion, there was a sprawl, and then various different apps needed to be connected so that they needed to be a connected enterprise. And if you really think about it, why do companies need to connect various apps together? It's typically to automate a certain business process that spans multiple systems. For example, think of a typical front office and back office. In the front office, you have a CRM. In the back office, maybe you have a billing system, a CPQ, an ERP, so on and so forth. And you need to be able to connect those because the data is in silos. And so we got started as an integration platform, as an iPaaS, integration platform as a service. And what we did back then and still do, it's still relevant, is to be able to automate these business processes, connect these apps together and break some of those data silos. And there are numerous different business processes, customer 360, order to cash, quote to cash, being able to connect with your supply chain, so on and so forth. But I think data, the importance of data has changed radically over the last 10 years. You've heard the statement, data is king. For example, to be able to ingest data into a data warehouse, pretty much every company on the planet these days has a data warehouse. And that's another way of being able to break data silos, right? You're able to take data from different operational systems and be able to ingest it into a data warehouse. And then if you fast forward to today, I think pretty much any topic around AI has the word data implicitly associated with AI. You cannot really do AI. You cannot have models. You cannot have AI-based workflows if you don't have access to data. So data becomes really key if you want to ask questions such as, where's my inventory? Or you have, let's say, a fraud detection process that really requires access to data in real time. That's just foundational when it comes to being able to power any type of AI-based workflow.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I think you could even see that at the micro level when you prompt an LLM and the LLM doesn't really have context. The difference in responses versus when the LLM has full context, it has your files, it has your systems, it has everything that it needs to know about the situation. And then you break that out into a business where that context is even larger. That context could span across 50, 100, 200 systems, but the same principle is there where AI needs access to data to be able to perform to its true potential, and connectivity is integral to that.